have an age difference. We have life differences.
This is how you should live your life.
I got the faith, because to get the faith...
Got it. Well, let's jump into this.
This is the Old School, New School podcast.
4, 3, 2, 1.
How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the Old School, New School
2
podcast. It has been a hot minute. I am Will Charles Egan, still, and that is still...
Chris Meekins,
We're
still.
still alive. Don't worry. We were just...
Totally renewed.
Yes. Well, I don't know about you. I was.
You were. So we went to a retreat called Braveheart.
Of course. Nothing screams men's retreat more than...
Nothing.
Mel Gibson
Nothing like the movie or anything.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Did he ever say why they called it Braveheart?
I never asked. Actually, never.
We were going to do an interview with him, but we didn't.
Yeah.
It was like pretty intense.
Yeah, it's called Braveheart Intensive for a reason. It was intense, to put it lightly.
Okay.
Lots of crying and sharing and throwing things in the campfire as one does. You know, it's a men's retreat. Of course, you're going to write something down on a piece of paper and throw it in the fire.
Wasn't crying like I have to, like I'm broken. It was more. I think it was more like, oh, this is what kind of...
Yes, being vulnerable.
I'm here for a reason. Most people go to
Yes.
a retreat for a reason.
Yeah, everybody had a thing that they were
They
going
hit it
for.
But it wasn't like a group of like 50, 100 people from a church. It's
No,
like...
it was 18 of us.
18.
Yeah, at a cabin in the woods.
Total. No, I think it was 14. We had
Really?
3 teams of 4, 8, 12.
There was one group of 3. That was one I was in, and then, yeah.
So there's 4...
Okay, maybe there was 14.
There was 15. There was
yeah.
15. One guy didn't show.
Yep. Wow. Yeah, that's right. I forgot about that. Yeah, it was very, small, intimate space. Of course, they had this term for it, the container. This is the sacred, do not share the things happening in here. This is the sacred bond.
They said that?
The container. Did you forget that already?
I forgot that part.
See, I learned. He did not. I retained, and I do my morning
That's
devotional.
why I had to go back for the 3rd time.
Right. Well, yes.
So what ended up happening is I invited a couple guys, Will being one of them, and we drove to Georgia.
Northern Georgia.
Yes, from Sarasota.
Mm-hmm.
11 hours there, 9 hours coming back.
Yeah, noticeably different on the way back.
Yeah.
Still
it
felt
was
longer.
on a Sunday and Atlanta traffic.
Yeah.
But it was interesting. I mean, it was an easy drive. It's like the same as flying. It's just flying.
Right.
You like 2 hours on the plane at the end of the day.
Exactly. With all the time combined, it probably would have been the exact same driving or flying to where we were going.
And traffic through Atlanta. Because we had the airport south of Atlanta. You have to go through Atlanta. Mm-hmm. Anyway, so this retreat was really about learning your identity and working through that.
Yeah.
And so if you were to say, well, first of all, welcome everybody.
Oh, hey.
And we missed you. If you were to say, from a retreat standpoint, why would anybody want to go to this thing? Why were you happy you went? Is that the right question?
Why am I happy I went? I don't know if you remember. You're going to be like, oh, my God, when I do this. But there's this St. Augustine quote about, like men pass by themselves. I don't know if you remember that from the...
I remember hearing something about St. Augustine, but what they said before that, I don't know.
So there is a quote here that says... Men go abroad to wonder at the heights of mountains, at the huge waves of the sea, at the long courses of the rivers, at the vast compass of the ocean, at the circular motions of the stars, and they pass by themselves without wondering. And so I think what was really key about this is, and obviously we went with for different reasons. For me, it was formative. For you, you could say it was reformative.
Yes.
Right? For me, it was, what's my identity? That's really what I think it came down to. What do I do?
What do you mean? Like, do you get in touch with your feelings or something? Or what do you mean your identity? So people don't think you're like weird.
Fruity. Yeah. The identity part of it, that was like one of the big culminations is we would show up with parts of ourselves and explain like, these are my interests.
Like What do you call it? A thing board?
Well, the reason why I'm not saying is because I don't know if we're allowed to share these things, Yeah. Okay, so it's a vision board.
What's it going to do, fire me?
Right, exactly.
So vision board.
We make a vision board of the interests, and then from that, it's all about, crafting, really at your core, what are the things that you love the most?
Yeah.
And from that, you form an identity statement. And so for me, it is, I am the charismatic and courageous wind that blows forth and stirs up the vigor of life to embolden others. That's the first part of it.
Okay.
But the gist of it is, I'm going to, at the very beginning, I loved how they if you're bringing any burdens, we're going to start by casting those.
We're going to start,
So you're going to open up, you're going to start as an empty slate with this whole process, and then from that, you're going to allow God to speak to you and through others to you to help reveal and call up at your core what are you?
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's been really helpful in making spiritual tools.
Well, because you tend to do things that you think you're supposed to do, or you do things that you think other people want you to do, or you do things that you think the pastor told you to do, or things that your parents told you you're going to be. And you're like, you know what? This is not me.
Yeah.
And I hate my life. Or you're living a life that is not true to who you really are. And you're like, oh, wait a minute. Maybe I should take a look at that, which is kind of what they did without giving away everything. But and you're like, this is how I'm living. That's not who I am. I'm like a slave to the man. And we did find out one thing, that the four of us were not slaves to the man.
Yeah, right.
We had 3 retired guys and him.
Yes. Yeah. Mr. Happy-go-lucky, carefree young guy. None of us were particularly enslaved.
It was so funny watching Will while we're doing this stuff. These guys were like mid-40s, late 40s.
Yeah.
They were like, when Will would talk, they'd smile like it was their own son, and it's like really interesting how they kind of took to you. So anyway, the idea is the guy that puts it together, Mike, how do you say his last name? Warden?
Michael Warden.
Warden. Did an amazing job, and he had a team of guys, and just explained a way of thinking that you just never heard before.
Yeah, absolutely. It was, there was this one dude, Travis, a lot of, turn everything you've ever known upside down statements. Like there was one, it was from one of these activities that we did. Travis kind of pointed out to all of us, look at the attempted craftiness of the devil and how we all share these common issues that the devil's attacking us with, and how he's got 3 plays in his playbook.
Right.
They're all very unoriginal. And then compared to look at God's creative spirit and his original plan, and how
from the
vastly,
positive,
and the positive, what we do and what we are, look how vastly different we are. Yeah. But what tools the enemy uses, we all had the same things in common. And so it was like, I see the spiritual aspect to this.
And it was like really cool how he pointed that out.
That was.
That was like, huh.
Oh my gosh, you're right.
You got the same stuff in your head that I do.
Yeah.
And you're like 45 years difference.
Yes.
Oh, wait a minute. He's been doing this playbook a long time.
Yep. Yeah, the devil's been around humanity for all of our existence, and he knows us, and he knows what works. It's just not very creative.
I thought there was I never even thought about not sharing this until you came over here going, are we allowed to share this stuff?
Right.
Well, he at the last day they talked about so you're working on your identity statement and a bunch of different things, and again, it was amazing. But at the end, he talked on Sunday morning about trying to when you get into a negative spin. And you're, so let's just say that your best life, your best identity. Like we'll just say I'm a writer.
Yeah.
And I'm writing and I'm creative.
It's working.
And I'm like I put in my hours and I'm operating at a 10.
Right.
And then all of a sudden something happens and someone says this or that or the other thing. And now you're like at a 3 and you're like, you know what? I really suck. And I should probably burn this other book and I should do this and I should do this. And so when you're in a 3 and you're trying to live and because you like living at a 10,
right.
You can't fix yourself. You can't dig yourself out when you're at a 3.
Yeah. It's impossible to try and be the warrior that God called you to be and fight the devil when you're already aligning with the devil more than you are with God.
Right. And so his thing was, well, then, and if he's listening, he's going to say, you totally butchered that. But anyway, it's like, well, why not operate out of a 10? That's the only way you can operate in your prime. So, for example, for me, is like, and I've said this before, it's just he put it in words. I mean, we've been living this for years. I'll get up on Saturday morning and I'm thinking, well, I practiced this for a couple of days right. and I'm not sure about it. And you know what? Maybe these people don't want me to do this. And, you know, maybe this is all a big fluke. All the lies that you listen to and you're like living. And then you're like, well, oh my gosh, how do I get out of this funk? And his whole thing was, we'll go over to what would operating at a 10 would be. Well, I would be doing what I'm designed to do. Okay, well, let's work from there. And so when you get back into a 10, you're like, no, I started this group. Yeah. I love this group. Yeah. There's 30 guys show up to come and talk and have discussion about this subject. Yep. And we eat and we laugh and we have a great time. And at 9:35, I'm excited. Yeah. So when you're go right back there, you're in your 10. You can do things, and so you're like, oh, let me get out of this 3 and let me get it a 10. Yeah. For whatever section of life you're in. So you're like going to work. You're like, oh my gosh, I hate going to work. Well, wait a minute, I love going to work because
I do.
A, I get to get away from my family. B, I get to make some money. C, I get to buy stuff with that money. I get to buy a new car. I get to do stuff. I mean, have you ever bought a new car?
I did yesterday. Funny you mention. It's actually, I needed to be reminded of
new
this.
New to you.
Yes, new to me. It's 2024, 22,000 miles. But I needed to be reminded of that because sometimes you find yourself, with the specific things that you do, that's like, oh, I need to go do this because I'm supposed to do this, or I need to feel validated if I do this. But one of the things that was really cool about, turning everything that on its head, like for me, the gym, oftentimes I find, validation in physical fitness, right? As like an example. And so I'm trying to define my identity based off of how I can perform in the gym. Okay. How many days a week I'm going, how much weight I'm able to lift. And that, what I do defines who I am.
And that motivates you to go back.
Right. And if what I do fails, then my identity fails, right? Because it trickles down. It's not it. You've got to start operating the other way around. Your identity informs what you do. So first, I'm not going to start off with, I need to go 5 or 6 days a week. I'm fat. I'm skinny. I'm whatever. No, I liked one of the guys said, I am a well-bodied athlete and temple of the Holy Spirit. I am that.
That's who I am.
That's who I am.
And what do those people do?
They go to the gym. And I love going to the gym. And I love the people there. And I love the feeling when I finish a workout every single time. I never leave the gym going, so I'm like, what am I doing? I'm going to go to the gym.
And the funny thing, I mean, it's just like, it's the same thing. It's just turning it it's going at it.
From your identity first.
And from a godly statement.
A godly identity, yes. Even with writing, sometimes I need to be reminded of that. I'm like, oh, this is going to suck. This is going to be terrible. But again, every single time I do it without fail, it's always great. And I just sometimes I'll focus on the I feel tired and I just can't focus. But then it's like, but then you get locked into your groove and you do it and it's always a good thing. And so just remembering I am a writer, I am an athlete, I am a men's breakfast speaker, I am the owner of a car wash, I am these things. I am a business owner, right? What do those people do? Okay, well they run the car wash. They speak in front of the men. They go to the church.
They show up.
They show up. So then show up. right? Because that's what you do. That's who you are. And so
I'm writing a new identity statement.
Holy cow. See, I also write an identity statement thing, because that was another cool thing about the retreat is as we're going along doing different assignments.
By the time you gave me the pen, by the time I wrote it out, I got best out, and I don't know what the rest of it was.
Speaker, car wash owner, real estate agent. No. But when we're doing the different assignments, even after we do the identity statement, when we're on to assignment 4 or 5, I find myself going back and revising the identity statement or going forward and revising this. And I find every single day I'm revisiting it, updating it, tweaking it. And there's even to this day, just now I wrote something else down that I need to add to it.
Yeah.
And it's constantly updated mission, identity.
Now they have one for women, and they.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's a women's one.
Oh,
yeah.
Is it called Braveheart?
No,
it's called Joan of Arc.
It's called chick thing. Chicks trying to be dudes.
Yes.
No. But we should probably look up his email or website so we can send people to it. It's called
I can put it in the
Braveheart Initiative or something.
The Braveheart Men. I can put the website in the description.
Braveheartmen.com.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's called braveheartmen.com.
Yeah.
Yeah, again, I'll put that.
But there's a women one too, and they only do like one a year. Yeah. But also, I mean, it's not like it's like some kind of hole in the wall camp where you're like, oh my gosh, I think we're going to get dead.
No.
This was on the side of a hill.
Yes, in a very nice cabin.
Yeah, very nice cabin. Yeah. They had air conditioning. That where we had our thing was really nice. So it was a really nice. He does a great job at it.
Yeah, it's called thebraveheartmen.com.
Yeah. So for me, I would say that my next step is retooling my identity statement where it's like, okay, what does my life look like when I'm operating at a 10? One of the other things that, some of the things that I do, I'm like operating out of my, I'm operating at a 7 or a 6.
Right.
Because I know what I'm doing. I've done it for the last 40 years, but am I really operating? What did that look like? So that was really helpful to me. What do you think, if you said one key thing for your personal life now that, we'll keep it just between me and you, what was the key thing that helped you this week from that retreat?
I'd say the big key thing is really being equipped with the proper tools to cement my identity to combat the lies of the enemy. That was my biggest thing. Because the spiritual attacks, especially, right before and right after, they would send us emails, expect spiritual attacks. They will come. Yeah. You should be encouraged because it means you're going on the right direction. And so when I encounter them, the lies in my head of like, you can't do this. What if this happens? It's going to be terrible. It's always like, I can call it for what it is. Call a spade a spade. That's a spiritual attack. I'm going to deny that.
And I'm going to go operate.
And I'm going to go operate in a 10.
Yeah.
And even if I don't feel it,
and even if you go at an 8, I'm at a 5 right now. If I go at an 8, I'll be.
That's progress.
Like rocking and rolling.
Yeah. And I'm going to continue this forward momentum. I mean, I am somebody where if I believe in something and I'm serious about it, I'm going to go full bore. So for this, I'm doing the morning devotionals every single day. I plan to continue to do that. I plan to continue to recite the, identity every single morning, first thing in the morning, walking out that. I also got, I have it with me, that little coin with all the, pieces of the armor of God.
That guy gave to you?
Yes.
We were talking at the table, eating lunch, great food.
Yeah.
And this guy was like,
give me a second. We'll be right back. Comes back after me sharing my testimony. He's like, I have a couple of these that I keep that I give to people who I feel prompted to give, and I feel I should give you this. It's really cool. It's a little coin, and it's got all of the different, pieces of the armor of God, and every morning I recite it.
It's the same thing as when military people they have that coin and they give it to people that they share coins. So it's very similar to that.
Yeah, it was really cool. I'm very thankful.
So, it was interesting that here we go to this retreat and we're talking about purpose, we're talking about identity, we're talking about, what do you think God's really calling you to do? And I want to say it's made for men because we tend to think we got to do what we get, this is what I have to do. And so there was a lot of guys that were struggling in life that are saying, oh, wow, wait a minute. Rather than this is what I have to do, it's like, oh, no, actually, I love doing this. This is what I get to do.
It's crazy watching, like, some people in particular. There was one that was the most noticeable, watching them light up when they talked about the things that they love doing. And it's like, there you are. Because a lot of the big topics that came up with some of the men was, like, the topic of masks. Because that's another thing I think that a lot of men struggle with is this idea of, like, I'm going to put on a fake persona of, strength and tough guy just to, like, keep getting by. Because if God forbid, I should show my true self to be vulnerable, then people are going to think that that's dumb.
Yeah.
It's
well,
like,
everybody, oh, man, that guy's a loser. It's like, I don't care.
Yeah. In fact, when you do it in front of a bunch of other men that are on the same page as you, everybody's like, yeah, thanks for doing that. Yeah. Same here, actually. And it was like, oh, that was easy. Yeah. And then your guard drops immediately.
And then you're all of a sudden you're like, okay, yeah, let's talk about this.
Yeah.
This really been bothering me for the last 25 years.
Exactly. And then you share it, and then some people cry out of deliverance, tears of joy and all that.
Well, and the best part was that it lined up with today's message at church. And so we have this thing at Bayside. It's called At the Movies. And they take a movie and they find it's not a Christian movie.
No,
but they find the spiritual implications.
What was last week's? Because we missed it. Because this wasn't week one.
This is week one.
Are you sure? I'm fairly certain last week they said.
Joyce.
Oh, for real? Okay, so this was week one.
Yeah.
Okay, I could have swore I heard that they said last week.
Joyce is our producer in the other room.
Yeah, she is. She's the behind the mic, like Jamie on the Joe Rogan Experience.
When she comes up, she'll look at me and say, she'll give me the look.
Mm-hmm.
Shut up.
Oh, okay.
So anyway, so they have this thing called At the Movies, and it's 3 series, 3 weeks. And so this week they did Field of Dreams.
Yeah. I'd never seen it.
It's a classic.
I'm 24.
Did they not 1 year also do Moneyball?
Did they do Moneyball? Because that's a great movie.
That's
a really cool movie.
I could always listen to it.
Oh, yeah.
Especially when he
now we're talking about Moneyball.
Especially when he tells Pete
how
to fire somebody.
Yes. It's
big. Not personal.
It's not personal.
The first time I had to fire someone like that was important in my business, I was like, oh my God, I'm going to watch Moneyball before.
Yeah. Get motivated.
It's not personal. Hey man, it's it's just not working out, and here's some money. Get the hell out of here.
Right.
But he talked Field of Dreams, and he talked with Kevin Costner.
Yep.
And so he was in the field, and it's not a Christian movie, and so Pastor Randy goes, it's not.
For the record.
We do not endorse.
Right. Because you have dead people suddenly coming to life in this movie. And
it's a movie.
It's a movie.
That's what they're saying. Yeah, it's a movie. But the spiritual implications were very much in line with what we talked about.
Oh, yeah.
About, what did I write down here?
Your dream, your vision.
Your dream and your vision. What to do when God calls you to do something that just doesn't make sense.
Yeah. So in the movie, spoiler alert, he is a farmer at this plot of land, and he's kind of just never really been the farming type. He's like, I guess I'll be a farmer. And he gets this weird, voice in the back of his head that's like telling him, like, you should make a baseball field in the middle of your corn crop. And he's like,
in the middle of
what?
Iowa.
Yeah, in the middle of Iowa, where you just don't do that. And so there's this section where people are pulling up their cars, staring at him, going, what's he doing? And he's taking his tractor and he's mowing down like an acre of his corn crop, and then he makes a baseball field.
And he's struggling financially.
Yes, he's going bankrupt, and so like, this is the dumbest idea possible.
Yeah, he's like,
but he goes, but there's the higher voice. Obviously, we want to call it God, but God told me to do this, even though it doesn't make any sense. I'm going to keep doing it.
And so Randy breaks in. He's got a White Sox uniform on, which, anyway.
Yeah. How dare he?
So he starts talking. It's like it's kind of like Moses. God asked Moses to go do this.
Yep.
He asked Noah to build an ark, and he never saw rain in his life.
Moses had a speech impediment. Noah had never seen rain, and God's like, I'm going to flood the world. And he's like, what is flood?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Yeah.
Things that made zero sense, that were seemingly impossible when faced with it, with our own limited knowledge. But God's like, don't worry, I got it. You continue to obey in the face of these impossible odds, and you will reap the rewards.
Right. And it was talking about faith and obedience and perseverance.
Perseverance.
And I think he really talked about that. So let's talk about that.
Let's talk about that.
Lined up with last weekend.
So
perseverance. Go ahead.
Have you been experiencing any like notable spiritual attacks before or since this men's retreat?
Well, beforehand it was like crazy. And the first night we were there, I got a call from the nursing home that at 11, finally went to sleep at 11:30, and I got a call, which there was no service.
Yeah, for real. Somehow you get a call,
and I get a call because I had my noise canceling headset on.
Yep.
Listening to the Bible.
Right, trying to be peaceful.
Yeah.
And then
I get a call at the nursing home. Oh yeah, your father-in-law fell out of bed, and he's in the hospital. He's in the emergency room, and I have no way. And they called me, and they left a message, and I have no way of contacting Joyce.
Right. But somehow that call got through to you. Of course it did, right?
Yeah,
of course it did.
Yeah. What about you?
Oh God, yeah. It's all the whispered lies in the back of your head, and the feelings of like, this isn't possible, or like you can't do this, or this is going to be overwhelming, or blah 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 blah. You know, young man struggles. Obviously, you're dealing with old man struggles. So it's different, but yeah. And so that's where I think this message was very poignant. Is, you know, obviously I'm not dealing with people saying I'm going to go into financial ruin, and you're not either. Right. But in this, you know, face of troubles for us, it's our different reasons. And so that's another thing too, is sometimes I get distracted of like, no, this isn't a spiritual attack, or like, no, this isn't, you know, resistance, as we always talk about, you know, with Pressfield. This is just you failing. But again,
the devil's got one playbook.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Lying. Again, calling a spade, recognizing what it is. No, this is a spiritual attack. These are lies. Don't let him try and deceive you that this is what it is. And I'm going to continue to persevere in the midst of this. You know, for you, maybe it's more, you could say physical. For me, it's more mental or spiritual. But it very much is a seemingly impossible impasse where you come to it and you go, what do I do? And God just goes, trust me.
Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it.
Just do it.
And it's...
Can you look up Isaiah 43:19 on your...
Isaiah 43...
Did you have the Bible on that thing?
I do have the Bible on this.
Because it when God sends you a vision that seems absurd, one of the things that we're working with another couple going through, a book called Experiencing God by Blackaby. And one of the things that we just went through, chapters we went through, was how do you know God's voice?
Yeah, that's big.
And so, you know, it's just like, oh, I have this great idea. It's like, well, wait a minute, let's
hold on.
How does it line up? Did I pray about it? Does it line up with Scripture? Did I talk to my spiritual advisor about it? Did I, if it's a financial thing, did I talk to a financial? You know, you can't borrow. Get a HELOC on your home and go buy stock because stocks are going crazy.
Right.
Just saying.
You shouldn't quit your job before you have another one lined up.
I read that someplace.
Yeah, I've done that someplace.
Yeah. What's Isaiah? And so Isaiah 43:19 addresses that.
It says, well, the previous verse is interesting too. This is verse 18 and 19 of Isaiah 43. Forget the former things. Do not dwell in the past. See, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs up. Do you not perceive it? I am making a way in the wilderness and streams in the wasteland. So what is it saying? Forget the past. Don't try and go back to your old identity.
You can't change it.
Can't change that. See, I am doing a new thing, though. What is that new thing? Now it springs up. Do you not perceive it? What is this new thing? I am making a way in the wilderness, a place where there is no way, and streams in the wasteland, a place where there is no stream of water.
Right.
So he is making impossible thing at this impossible impasse.
And so, go back to identity. If you're operating in your identity, this is who I am.
Yeah.
And God tells you to do something that lines up with your identity, lines up with your advisors or your Bible, or it's not like going to rob a bank. Okay, please get that.
Don't
straight.
rob a bank.
But when it lines up with that, our job is to be obedient to do the next thing that God tells us to do. Sometimes it just doesn't make sense. Why should I go do this? Don't worry about it.
Just do it.
Okay. I mean, this sounds funny.
Say it.
I'm thinking my wife's going to come up and smack me. So about 2 years ago, I came up with this idea that we need to buy silver.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Like as a physical investment
Yeah.
to protect your assets. Okay.
Yeah. Why? I don't know. I mean, want to go and walk around with silver coins?
Maybe.
Silver's doubled.
Really?
It's doubled. It's like at $50.
So now what?
And I all that to say is I think sometimes God gives you is like, no, you should do this. And I was like, hey, and Joyce was like, well, I don't know about that. And I'm like, no, I think we should buy some silver, And so it's like that.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of times it's a spiritual thing. It's like, hey, I got this idea to write a song. Well, you write down these words, and I'm trying to make stuff.
Just do it.
Yeah.
If it feels weird, consult someone who's wiser and maybe further along in their faith. But yeah, again, if it feels weird, maybe it's from God and you should consult someone about it. But if it feels weird and you don't get confirmation, that's, and then people get caught up in the well, I don't know how to recognize God's voice. And what if what I hear is really the enemy trying to lie to me and I feel so lost? And you're going through this book, Hearing God's Voice by Blackwell. So what would you say to the person, Blackaby, by Stephen Blackrock. So what would you say to the person that's trying to hear God's voice?
This is so funny. I feel like an idiot that I just mentioned that whole silver thing. I'm like, that's the stupidest example ever.
Don't doubt yourself. Live in a tent.
Yes, I'll live in a tent.
So what does it mean to hear God's voice and when people feel lost?
And so hearing God's voice is saying, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do it with what the saying goes, eyes wide open.
Okay.
And I'm gonna go do this. Pastor Randy talked about. He didn't know anybody in Florida. He didn't know any location.
Yep.
But he believed he gave God gave Amy and him a vision to go to Bradenton, Florida, to start a church in 2003, which was not a great time. I mean, 2001, 2001 was the Twin Towers.
Yeah.
And 2002 was kind of like a nightmare.
Yeah.
And so, but he moved down here he had a bunch of little kids too, right?
Yep.
A bunch of little kids. And now he's got 12,000 people attend his church every week. And he's got online. We've got reaching people around the world.
He was talking the last service that I went to, which was 2 weeks ago. He was I'm pretty sure it was Randy. Maybe it was Bernard, but he was up there giving the opening MC. He said, and we have somebody from Warsaw, Poland tuning in. He pointed the camera and goes, hey, guy from Poland. He said his name, which was some crazy Slavic name. I was like, holy cow. People across the world are tuning into this guy's obedience.
Right. So, better example than silver.
Okay.
And so the key is knowing God's heart, not chasing the dream. And it's like, you know what? And again, we operate in my house out of a worldview of it's about God, it's about spiritual things. That's just what we do.
Plain and simple.
I mean, it's I'm not really complicated. I like to go boating. I like to try to golf. I like to try to do some things.
Try to golf.
But ultimately, I like being in relationships with people that are around. And so, rather than chasing dreams of what it's supposed to be about, just chase dreams what God's telling you to do. In your case, writing a book.
And it's funny because a lot of the spiritual attacks are very tailored, and you'll recognize them, especially when you do something like this where you learn the enemy's playbook. You can see, I see what you're doing. You're trying to knock me off of my calling.
Yeah.
Knock me off of my horse here, out of my high castle.
And not everything works. I mean, I was writing down some of the things that I've done that, I mean, I've started a lot of things that didn't work.
Yeah, like an example about silver. That example didn't work.
Yeah, car wash didn't work. Okay, and I'm working through it. But galvanized men, we had 31 guys yesterday.
There you go.
Guys that are seeking to grow. The Ministry 6, it was for veterans and police. Didn't work.
Really?
Yeah,
I was going to ask you about that.
But like even when I bought that commercial toaster, I was like, if you want to start a men's breakfast, you got to have a toaster. I know. That's so weird.
Obedience.
But it was like when I bought it, I'm like, I'm in.
Yeah.
Now I gotta do something about it. And that's where when you give a public testimony of this is what God's telling me to do, and you say it in public, you're kind of making yourself accountable to other people.
For example, writing a book with your podcast co-host.
Yes.
Are you doing anything about that?
Well, I thought after we debriefed after this thing, I'm like all in, and I just have to have directions. So
I gave you a whole outline.
Give me directions. You're going to have to give it to me again because I think I lost it.
Okay, perfect.
But perseverance and community. What do you? Is that like a strength of yours especially for writing a book?
What, persevering on my own?
Yeah.
I'll tell you something, Chris, and this might come as a surprise. I'm actually a very lazy person. I know you don't believe that, and I know most people don't, but like inherently, I'm actually I don't like going to work. I mean, I like my job, but I don't like working.
Yeah.
I don't like waking up early. I'm not a morning person. I don't like I want to be my own and do my thing, you know.
You want to be retired.
I kind of want to be retired, both. I want to just kind of slide back, you know, but it's resistance, right? The whole, I have to continue to do what I'm called to do, because my inherent nature that I'm fighting against every day is this kind of laziness. And so a big part of the perseverance is community. Yes. I couldn't do the things that I do without this, without meeting with, Dale, the counselor that I see every couple of weeks. I couldn't do it without my friends.
Your mom.
My mother.
Because she's listening.
Mom is listening. Spiritual. And real family. Real family is just as important.
Hi, Mom.
Hey, Mom. And it's very important to do it, especially for somebody like me, with other people. But I'd say, trying to persevere on your own, that's another thing.
But your mom, she believes in you. She's like she's about you.
Oh, yes.
And that's what's so important, to have those kind of people around you. Okay, go ahead.
Yes. No. Yeah, you're good. The real important thing about community, what's really interesting, is my generation has this kind of obsession with, like, for 6 months, I'm going to disappear. I'm going to go ghost mode. I'm going to be like Batman.
Really?
And I'm going to disappear, and I'm going to come back a completely new person. It's like, okay, that is completely contrary to how anything works. You can't disappear from all of your friends and your community and your support group for 3 months and expect to show up a different person. You're going to be resentful that it didn't work.
Yeah.
You're going to be alone and isolated. You're going and
you're going to have these lies filled your head with,
because you're just in your own echo chamber.
Nobody come and beg me to come out with them.
Right. Exactly. There's no worse place to try and better yourself than in the echo chamber of your own mind.
One of the things I love about Bayside is that they keep on harping on.
That's the exact word that came to my mind too. Harping on groups.
About groups.
Mm-hmm.
Growth comes in the context of community.
Amen.
And
I agree with that.
And I agree with that 100%. I mean, I'm having some great relationships.
Mm-hmm.
I want to hit this one thing before we go on. How faith sometimes means acting before you see the outcome. And so all this talking is like, okay, I don't know what it's going to look like.
Yeah.
But the Bible is very clear. Faith, hope, and love.
Mm-hmm.
The greatest of these is love. But having faith that God is going to do what he said he was going to do.
Yeah.
And the results are measured by us and by the world.
Right.
You could start a small group and have one person and change the world. That's know, I mean, the one guy that preacher that converted Billy Graham was the only convert in his whole career.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm sure I'm making that up.
Well, yeah. He had two, actually. One of them was Billy Graham. The other one was some dude. But I love the example that come heaven, kingdom come, there will be a line of people thanking you for your commitment.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Because that's really the reward. Because the lot that you receive is not in this life. Really, it's after Judgment Day, when we're in heaven, when we're rejoicing. In that period, you'll get to meet all the people you ever interacted with. You'll get to thank people that brought you along, and you'll have people thanking you for you bringing them along. And it's going to be like, look at all of this impact that everybody in the body has made to one another. Yeah. And that's, I think, very encouraging for somebody like you or me, where it's just like, what's the point? You'll see.
And I think he mentioned a little bit today is like, and then you do it, and then things go well, and you're like, oh my gosh, this is what I was made to do. Mm-hmm. I mean, I feel like that about this podcast. Maybe you people out there don't feel that way, but I think when I get done, I'm like, this is what I was designed to do.
Absolutely,
I could care less if nobody listened.
Oh yeah,
I'm having this like friendship with this young kid. We talk about spiritual things. Mm-hmm. We put it out to the universe. No one can say we're not trying to reach a world.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm golden.
We're doing what we're called to do.
I'm doing more than you are doing, dude.
That's how you know that this is what we're supposed to do, because we couldn't care less about the outcome.
Yeah.
We're just doing what we're doing.
Now, we want to make sure that we're not leading anybody to a path.
Right.
To hell.
Yeah, accidentally.
He said that we could go and do this.
Yeah, well, wait.
Chris
we didn't
said buy silver, and now silver went down to $4 an ounce.
And now I'm broke. Yeah, for the record, we don't give financial advice. Legal disclaimer, we do not give financial advice.
Yeah.
Don't buy silver, or maybe do.
But, so we got to wrap this up. What would be some hands moved for people to do this week about these two things that we talked about? Mm-hmm. Identity and about listening to God and stepping out in faith.
Well, I always preface this because I was at the dealership when I was buying this car, and of course they're sweet talking you, and they're asking about like, what do you do? Oh, that's so cool, man. And they're asking me about my book, and they're like, can I have your phone number? I want to hear about your book. And I'm like, yeah, whatever. Yeah. But and he's like, yeah, I have a story that I was thinking about writing, and I hear this a lot.
Yeah, but we'll only give you $100 for your trade.
Yeah, that's really cool. Anyways, here's what you got approved for. It's nothing, basically. Here's a couple pennies.
You owe us $20.
You owe us to take this car.
I think you could honestly say to all your friends when they say, did you really need a new car? You could say, oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. It was worth $100.
The dealer gave me $100.
It was $600 by the end of it. But he was going on and on about, he's got this story idea, and it was pretty cool, actually. I might steal it. No, I'm kidding. But he's like, I might do this. I'm like, well, I'll ask you this question, man. And I asked a lot of people that have story ideas this, how badly do you want it? And this is what I'll say to the challenge. What are some practical steps I can take to apply what we've spoken on in this podcast? First off, I'd preface it with, how badly do you want it? How badly do you want to change? Because if it's bad enough to where you're like, I want to know what to do. Okay, here's what you should do. What are your values? What are some things that you really earnestly love doing and that you feel God has called you to do on this earth? Figure those things out. From there, you can really begin to form, okay, this is not what I do, this is who I am. And who I am affects what I do. I would say make some sort of identity statement that you can kind of repeat like, no, let me recenter.
It doesn't have to be correct.
Right. This is who I am. And you can update it in a week, in a year, it's whatever. And I'd say, continue to go back to that, because in a week, you'll be like Chris here, and you'll just forget everything that you learned at the Braveheart retreat and just be like, whatever. But when you recenter yourself, because sometimes you'll lose the momentum, you'll lose the spiritual high of the like, I'm going to make a change. But you find something like an identity statement to recenter yourself on. That way you won't lose the dream.
I'm just looking at and thinking about something that when you go to like these seminars for the last 50 years of when you want when you make goals and when you write it down and you put it away. Yep. If you look at it at the end of the year, most times you get like 80% of it done. Yep. It's like there's this thing that happens. Yep. And so one of the things that was recommended is that you write yourself a letter. Now I've shared with you guys. I write God a letter in the morning. And so I'm like, hey, God, this is like what's really ticking me off, and this is what Joyce did, and this is what Will's doing, and he's got a truck now, God, and I don't. That's going to be my prayer tomorrow. I can guarantee you that.
Yep.
But write a letter to yourself from God, from God's perspective, but also mention how. And so, just this is powerful.
Mm-hmm.
Writing a letter to God and saying, "This is what I'm thinking, and I don't know what to do about it. Can you just make clarity to me?" And then go back tomorrow and then read that again and wait for God to give you an answer. But write God a letter.
Yeah.
Because what it does is it pulls it in, it writes it down and says, no, I did ask God about that. So that's just one idea.
You want some advice from somebody who's way younger than you?
Yes.
You should do your writing for our book in the morning as well.
I'm thinking about that.
Because I used to do my morning devotional and then immediately follow with my personal reading. And the momentum, I finished books like that. It was awesome.
So one of the things that he taught today is like, don't wait until it makes sense. If God calls you to build the field, start clearing the ground.
Start clearing the ground.
And there's a way to say, okay, Lord, I'm not going to do this until I have the money. Like
sure.
I have.
Don't make a rash decision.
I've done in my personal finances. I've started it's a seed money,
mm-hmm.
and I'm saving a percentage of my income,
mm-hmm.
and I'm putting it into this account. I'm not sure what it's for.
Really?
But it's like growing, and I'm like, okay, God, this is seed money.
How long you been doing this?
I've been doing it this year.
Okay, cool.
So I'm just like, I'm gonna. I believe that God's calling me to do this.
Wow.
So I don't know what it's for.
That's cool.
But
That's
I'm
really
like
cool.
watching. I'm like, wow. And here's the funny thing:
mm-hmm.
I'm still paying my bills.
It's funny how God does that. That's another thing. If you feel like, because you've made some good decisions, bad decisions, but at the end of the day, you're still here, right? If you are earnestly following God and trusting in Him, even if you make a mistake, you're not going to completely fall out and end up on the streets homeless and with no direction.
Right.
If you're earnestly following God, He will provide in the way that you need.
But you cannot do it without lining it up with Scripture
mm-hmm.
and having at least one person
Yep.
that will not benefit from it. That,
mm-hmm.
One person that has an objective of
you
saying,
should give me all your silver.
I'm
man.
just saying, you might want to think about that another day.
Yep.
Wait 24 hours on that.
Yeah.
So there's a couple scriptures. Ephesians 3:20 says, God can do immeasurably more than we can imagine. That's what the Bible says. I didn't say that. Will didn't say that. That's what the Bible says.
Ephesians 3:20.
And that's what God's saying to you.
Mm-hmm.
Persevere and you will receive what He promises. It's perseverance. If you look at, okay, I'm talking to you, young person.
Okay.
You and your liberal. Communist.
Oh, yes. That's me. The liberal communist. Will, the liberal communist.
That we own all the wealth and homes in this thing. The truth is that I didn't think that I was going to make the house payments when I first bought our house. I mean, it's
really?
not easy. You're probably, when they told you what your payment was going to be for that truck, you were like,
yes. Yes, I did.
I have never made a truck payment before.
Yeah. Oh, God. Really?
Okay.
I have to figure out how to come up with this now, and my car insurance now jacked up because it's a newer vehicle, and am I going to make it?
Yeah.
I'm going to make it.
Yeah, I know. But, so perseverance, I mean, it takes...
And that's Hebrews 10, 35, 36.
It takes time. And then the last one, Proverbs 3, 5, and 6. Trust in the Lord, even when it doesn't make sense. So that's my advice. I need you to wrap it up because we're at way over.
It's fine. It's our own podcast.
Okay, that's right. We don't care.
No, we don't care. Proverbs 3, 5 through 6. Trust in the Lord with all your heart. Lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to Him, and He will make your paths straight. See you next week.
Peace.